Once upon a time, nestled right in the heart of lush green valleys, there was a peaceful little village adorned with colorful wildflowers.
Uyumak gibisi yok. Hem kalkıp ne
In this
yapacağım
village,
ki?
there lived a sweet-natured but incredibly lazy girl who loved nothing more than a good night's sleep.
Sevgili yastığım en
Even
yakın
when the sun
arkadaşım
reached
sen
its
olabilir
zenith,
misin
she
acaba?
wouldn't even think of getting out of her cozy bed, choosing instead to lose herself in daydreams.
Oturduğum yerden
While
her
her
şey
mother
ne
busied
kadar da
herself in the
güzel
kitchen,
görünüyor.
she would lounge on the daybed, whiling away the hours, watching butterflies flutter by. The villagers called her the lazy girl, but she couldn't care less about the nickname and simply went right back to sleep. One morning, her mother came in holding a large basket brimmed with wool and gently set it down beside her daughter.
Güzel kızım.
Look,
hadi
my
bir
dear,
gayretle kalk
you must
yerinden
spin this
anneciğim
wool
ya.
into yarn by
Bak, benim de
nightfall,
işlerim var.
or else we shall freeze when winter comes, she said. The girl stared at the towering basket of wool, let out a heavy sigh, and found herself unwilling to lift a single finger. She reluctantly sat at the spinning wheel, but her head drooped instantly as she prepared to drift back into dreamland. Just at that moment, the door creaked open, and a serene, radiant old woman gracefully glided into the room.
Bu gizemli tonton nene de nereden çıktı?
The old woman mentioned she was famished, asking the girl for a morsel of bread and a helping hand.
Tatlı kızım, çok acıktım. Rica etsem bana ekmek verebilir misin?
Annem yeni yapmıştı. Demek ki senin de tadına bakman gerekiyormuş.
Summoning
Çok
all her
düşüncelisin
energy,
güzel
the girl
kızım.
pulled herself up and handed a loaf of fresh bread from the table to the
Güzel
old woman.
kızım, beni yanlış anlama ama
The woman ate the bread and remarked, "Your heart is pure gold, my child, but your hands have grown terribly idle. If you spin all this wool, every strand will turn into silver thread. But if you fail, they
Vay
shall
be!
turn to
Bu da
dust."
neydi şimdi?
In the blink of an eye, the old woman vanished into thin air, leaving the girl all alone with nothing but the creaking of the spinning wheel. Driven by a newfound spark of curiosity, the girl reached for the crank of the spinning wheel and slowly began to turn it. At first, her hands ached terribly, and the threads kept snapping, but she refused to throw in the towel and pushed through. As the wheel spun faster, a cheerful melody seemed to echo through the room, and her sleepiness gradually faded away. As the midday sun poured through the window, her fingers seemed to dance effortlessly across the threads. She completely lost track of time. As the wool in the basket dwindled, a deep sense of peace began to flood her heart. With every turn of the wheel, the threads gleamed brighter, casting a magical spell over the entire room. By late afternoon, the basket was completely empty, replaced by a bounty of glittering skeins of silver yarn.
Kızım sen neler yapmışsın? Beni çok mutlu ettin.
When her mother walked through the
Teşekkürler
door,
anne.
the sight before her eyes brought tears of pure joy to her
Ben
face.
neler kaçırmışım böyle. Emeğimin karşılığını görmek ne harika bir duygu.
That evening, the girl felt truly exhausted for the first time in her life. Yet her heart swelled with an indescribable pride. She realized that even without the magic of silver threads, the act of working and creating something was far more valuable than gold. From that day forward, the villagers fondly called her the clever
Toprak
craftswoman.
çok nemli.
She planted flowers in her garden, lent a hand to her mother, and began to live every single day to the absolute fullest. Sleep was no longer an escape for her. Instead, it became a sweet reward at the end of a fruitful day. Nothing gained without effort can ever match the pure bliss of success earned by the sweat of one's brow. True happiness lies not in idleness, but in the resolve to use one's talents for the greater good.